And Alpha 19 draws ever closer, and today we're going to be looking at the level designers and a little bit of zombie behavior, not too much, but just as it relates to level design. And this was really interesting. There's going to be a lot of POIs that they are actually covering in the stream. I'm going to cut up these segments and sort of showcase a little bit here and there of the different POIs without trying to spoil it, because that's one thing I noticed that looking through the whole stream, it sort of does spoil the effect of visiting the POI yourself for the first time. So I'm gonna take some tidbits here and there. I'm not going to show all of them because I think that's a little bit too much. There's also a lengthy Q&A at the end that I'm going to avoid most of it because it's just really dry information, even though it might be interesting. It's just more casual discussion and covering things. And it looks like we will be doing this stream on Saturday and Sunday for Alpha 19, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel as well and ring that notification bell. I will be streaming on Saturday and Sunday for around 11 a.m. EST, which is around 4 p.m. Central European time and evening Asia time. And furthermore, I will be doing some 7 Days to Die PC Game Key giveaway, and the first one is already running. So check the description below, it is a link to my giveaway. And if you're joining my streams there, you'll also have additional chances to get a free game key. Let's head on over and listen to the Fun Pimps.
Hey everybody, so tonight is our 5th dev stream for Alpha 19. With me tonight, which I don't know why Discord's showing it that way. Anyway, with me tonight is Eric von Rothkirch and Brad Jacobs. They are level designers. We're going to be showing off some POIs and a bunch of other stuff.
Hey guys, I started out in the game industry 20 years ago. I started at Electronic Arts at the mothership in Redwood City, and after that I went and worked at Monolith for a little while, and then 3D Realms, and then a company called Triptych that was working with Gearbox. And then in 2014, I started with the Fun Pimps. So I've been around here for a little while and making POIs and doing audio and whatever needs to get done, because there's a lot of things that need to get done.
There's Brad. Look at that. We did get it. Go ahead, Brad.
Hey guys, what's up? As he said, my name's Brad Jacobs. I've been a game developer for almost 11 years now. I started at 3D Realms where I met Eric, and from there I worked at Triptych as well. I worked at Gearbox, I worked on Borderlands 2, Borderlands 3 for a little while, and left there, and I've been on this team for about three years, I think, and yeah, just making POIs with Eric, and we do a lot of other things to facilitate team needs. We try to lead some of the features and give feedback for them. So
for A19, we wanted to tackle the commercial stores, and one reason is because it's been a while since those have had any love. As those of you who've been playing probably noticed that a lot of the POIs have gotten updates, or we've gotten a ton of new POIs, but the stores, which have all the brands that everybody is looking for the crates for and stuff, needed a little bit of love. So we did that, and we focused all of A19 POI development. Now we did do more than just stores, but we tried to focus as much as we could on the stores to give you guys, since they're really hot places to explore. Everybody's always looking for the stores, find the crates to get the good stuff.
And I think that's really important, because he's absolutely right. People go for the stores because it's got not necessarily the food, but the medical, the weapons, and the tools and the equipment.
So here is, hey, go ahead and explain, guys.
So this is our Shamway. This is one of them. This is the smaller of the two. And one of the things we wanted to do when we made this is, the old stores, they kind of had a feeling of being able to pop in and loot and have a bunch of guys come out, rather than only having one way in. So there's multiple entrances on a lot of these POIs, but if you want to go over to the side there, Lathan,
okay,
kind of see they're already trying to bust out there. You can jump in through that window back there in the entrance, or you can come in through the back here.
Alright, let's go,
those
I
are the
guess,
two
in
fastest
the
ways.
back. And just
Into
let me
the
know
door
when
there.
you, like, how far you want me to go in here.
Okay, if you just want to go into the main store area, we can go from there. So just head through that door there, and then kind of see it through it. But oh yeah, watch out! There's our new crawler zombie. So there's a ladder behind you there. So a lot of these produce baskets, you can loot those, get seeds from them, even though it's rotten produce.
You can see the, like you mentioned, the produce store boxes, and you see the shelves and the drinks there. It looks so much better than before. I mean, this is a huge improvement. I also like that they have all these dead zombie asses laying on the ground, so you don't really know which ones are, well, alive or which ones are undead and which ones are really dead, and it makes it look really good.
This one is obviously a lot larger. It's a really big tier 4. It's inspired by Kroger here in America, if you're familiar with that store. And yeah, we tried to really stay as close to real life as we could with this stuff, because we really want to make it feel like you're in a real world living in the zombie apocalypse. So you can go in through the front of this store. There's a few different entrances again, but
we're going to go through the back.
Yeah, the fastest, easiest way is through the loading dock here. There's like a little metal plate inside of the trash compactor there. But here you can see where the ceiling caved in on the store. Created this giant sinkhole.
Look at that, everybody. Oh, shit. Okay.
Oh,
new fat mama.
Big mama! Everybody's so excited. Okay. So, you want to show just a little bit more and then we'll move on?
Yeah. So, a lot of our older POIs were a lot more on the linear side, and we're starting to lean more and more towards a little bit more open exploration. So right here you can see there's a coffee shop and a bakery. You can actually jump behind here and look in the freezers. You can go in the back rooms and maintenance rooms. There's a lot of places where you might be able to jump up into the ceiling tiles and find some hidden loot.
And that looks really awesome. I think that they've done a great job with the new PIs, and as he mentioned, they are opening it up and not doing it so linear. The dungeon crawl and all these, because the dungeon crawl works for some POIs, but for all it just becomes way too much. It sort of restricts you rather than makes it interesting, because you only get that experience once, and then the rest of the time you probably go through the wall or the ceiling or something anyway, and you don't really care to follow it.
Okay. Oh, look. Savage Country.
Yeah.
You want to start explaining about this one?
Yeah, so this one is inspired by like G.I. Joe's, if anyone remembers that chain, or like a REI, where it's, you know, you might be able to find some hunting supplies, ammo, clothing, that kind of thing. In these, so this is one of our new brands. We have 2 new brands. We have Savage Country and Mo Power Electronics. Ooh, watch out. So, like here, you can see that up there. To find a way around.
Okay, moving on.
You get stuck. That's a current bug we're fixing.
And beyond the fact that this looks awesome, you can also see the ragdolling as the zombies fall down from the ceiling. They used to sort of fall down and land on their feet and run towards you. Now they really do fall down. You see some destruction, things collapsing, and they sort of drop down on the ground, and they have to pick themselves up and then go for you.
So yeah, this one we were taking inspiration from a lot of different real world stores. Like this one is probably close to the Sierra brand. Like we were looking at different brands of stores and like what was similar to kind of like what we're doing. We took inspiration from a whole bunch of different real life places. Um, like Brad was saying, we discovered that it was kind of difficult with a big open store layout to get a more linear path, and it just didn't seem to fit as well anyway. So we decided to open the concept up, and since the original stores were like that anyway, the original stores were kind of like go in, fight the zombies, and get all the loot, and it was kind of like a smash and grab gameplay anyway, which was kind of true to the originals. That we thought we would do that, lean more that way with these anyway, since literally the only way to make a really strict path would have been to create a maze through the entire thing, and that would have been kind of whoa, we got a bug there. That would have been kind of boring and frustrating. So we just let the natural openness of the store format kind of carry the experience. So hopefully people will appreciate that. This one, yeah, the new mannequins that the artist made and the gun racks and things. I mean, if you guys saw the environment art stream, they talked and showed some of that stuff, but this is where it really, I mean, we're firing on all cylinders here as a team because we're getting some really great stuff going here. I'm really happy and proud of all of us that worked on this stuff.
Well, I like these different like equipment racks and ammo racks and stuff like that, and I hope we can craft them, but if not, I'll definitely put them in my expanded decorations model so people can craft and use them, because they would look awesome in our own bases.
Sorry, you put bullseyes there. I couldn't help it. I just saw it and I was like, I have to do it. How far do you want me to go into the place? How big is this one?
You can go in and show the range.
Okay.
And fight in there if you want. I mean,
sure.
That's not really giving away secrets or anything like that.
Okay, there you go. Oh, that's convenient. Not the right ammo, but...
Somebody recognizes my inspiration.
We're finally getting some target practice assets in there. I still think Jake's target that was animated is better. I wish they would have put something like that in the game. He made an awesome asset back in Alpha 17, which basically you could hit and it would fall down and then it would stand up again.
Okay.
We didn't, I don't know, Brad, if you want to talk about, we switched off on some of them, but not others, but we discovered that it was kind of cool when we each did our own spin on the same category. So it was like splitting the categories up kind of.
Is the interest
head over to the west side of the POI.
Okay.
So you want to head back to the back where it says close encounters on the wall back there.
Okay.
And then go ahead and jump over that gate there.
Ooh.
So this is kind of where we're trying something a little different, where the loot from the POI is right in the middle. And then there'll be waves of zombies that come out, sort of like a defensive mission. And then when the zombies come out is just when they bust out of the rooms that they spawn in.
That's fine. I got time.
So make sure you take advantage of the explosive barrels, because once they start flooding, there's a lot of them.
Nice, having some wave defense. I like that. I think that the POIs are a lot more I'm not gonna say lifelike, that's maybe not the correct terming, but they look a lot better. They feel a lot more natural as opposed to the previous ones. We always felt a little bit basic, but I think the level design have done a great job here, and not just in the layout, making them a bit more interesting, but putting in all the assets and all the detailing that really makes it stand out. And you can see having more assets, you can see the target practice, you can see the different shelves and everything, just allows them so much more richness to make it interesting.
Oh, look at that, everybody. I think I've been to this one. I think I've definitely done this one. Yeah, it's so peaceful. It's so calm.
If you've seen American hardware store brands, you might recognize some of the themes a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Lathan was showing us off earlier, but these shelves, you can search them for supplies and stuff too.
Oh yeah, let's take a moment. Yeah.
Sometimes they'll have stuff, sometimes they won't.
Hammer.
So having these shelves and everything searchable is nice. I'm a little bit concerned that you wouldn't be able to differentiate between the ones that you can search and the one you cannot search. You remember in Alpha 17, the way they would do that with cupboards or microwaves or fridges and everything would be that if it's closed, you could search it. If it was open and sort of rotted or looted or whatever, then it was unsearchable. That it wasn't a container. A little bit concerned that it might be difficult for us to figure that out here.
Knuckle rub by the Frosty. I know, right? Okay. Oh man, they drove the car into the side. Ow, mother... Really? Those birds.
What?
It must have been from outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I was
They followed
like,
me in,
you're
guys.
placing those bookstores.
Oh, that's where we keep the ammo. Hey, what are you... Oh, poppin' pills.
Oops.
I think I've been to this one. Yeah, no, I think I've been to this one.
There's not. Oops, I got a whole shelf there. Yeah, there's not a lot. Not a lot to show on this one.
Yeah,
Some of them are small, but some of them are big, some of them are small. They got the variety and size and the length of experience. It's funny because we were working on them for so long, and now that I see them all shown back to back, I'm like, gosh, we did a lot of stuff. And it's like hard to even wrap my head around when you're talking about like months and months of.
Yes,
there he
it was
is.
inspired by Best Buy.
I don't think that worked right.
Rolling around.
I see what we are trying for.
Yeah, we hit these new stores. It's funny, we talked about them for like 2 alphas. It's like, oh, we should really do those new stores. It'd be cool to have a clothing store. It'd be cool to have an electronics store. And we just kept talking about it, and it finally got to a point where it was like, you know, we're always talking about new stores. Why don't we just do them? Why don't we just finally make them? So we did.
Oh, hey. Red Mesa. That's like
So you guys might recognize this or be familiar with it. I built it, I don't remember when it was exactly, 2015 maybe. And it was just, actually, I think when I built it, we didn't even have texture painting yet. So there wasn't a lot that I could do. We also didn't have sleepers. So there wasn't a lot that I could do with it, but I had always wanted to make it into a questable location, you know, that was full of zombies, and you'd have to go in there to get the good stuff. And but we got busy in other alphas with other goals, like whatever it was, 60 new houses in A17, and A18 we ended up doing like Old West, and it just kept falling through the cracks to update this one. So at the beginning of A19, I was like, I'm tired of not being able to do this. I really got to make some time to finally update this thing with all the good new stuff. So I took a little bit of extra time, and I made it into a fully questable POI with new art and assets, and
the Red Mesa armor bases or missile base or whatever has always been, I think, a favorite. I'm really glad they updated to make it more interesting. It was okay before because it's quite a large one. It doesn't look so large, but it's really large because it's underground as well. It's nice to see them updating it, and I hope they made it nice and spooky and difficult.
So this is to show off some of the tech we've been working on. We've been working on fall behavior tech that you've seen probably a little bit from us playing these POIs, but here you'll get to see a lot of the different variations. They're a lot more random. There's a lot of different ways they can animate and fall and ragdoll, so you'll see that here.
Okay. There you go.
So you can see how there's different ones doing different things there.
Oh, that definitely looks better. Obviously it's a random thing. I guess they can't find him, but anyway, it looks a lot better when it's not all same, landing on their feet stiffly, and here they really land in different ways, and I think that's a really good addition and change.
Or, I mean, technically, I guess you guys could just be answering questions while I'm running.
Yeah, we can try to answer while you show the POI.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thoughts on the sports team zombies get up faster? I mean, right now they're still currently. I don't know. Are the football players still in, or did they get deprecated? I don't remember.
I thought they were being removed.
Okay. Those ones ran. I know Brad and I would like a run flag on spawn volume so that we could set guys to run like crazy in certain special setups, not everywhere, but it would be cool to have a little bit more control over behavior in certain setups and POIs, that's for sure.
And I think that's an interesting thing, that if they're removing the footballer, which is a bit of a pity because he's nice in the sense that he's a normal zombie that always runs. So he's not a feral, he's not a radiator, but he always runs. And I do agree that would make for better level creation and better, I guess, variety in zombie behavior by having some that always just maybe limp, some that always run, or some that always sprint, so that you could have a variety without having to go to the feral or radiator route. Because right now, they run if they're feral and radiated, but otherwise they walk. And having that more varied would make sense, and it would make the game better.
I believe Justin made some new textures that are only in 19 now, like the new concrete.
Yeah, we showed that in Red Mesa a little bit.
So
we do get new textures from time to time, but we have to do so very carefully. Often, when we get a new texture, we sometimes have to take out old textures or like move something to what we call the model atlas, which is when we get a new we change something from a block to a model. It frees up block texture space, and we can get a new block texture. So we have been trying to move more things to the model atlas where we can, so we can get more block textures, because we were always starved for block textures. I mean, we've always have been from day one. So it's just like we're always hungry for more block textures.
And that's something that players are the same thing. It's not a performance, but it's a memory issue that there is a limit to the amount of textures they can put in there. So that's what they mentioned about out into blocks. And you see that all the assets like a clothing rack or the the food box or the rotten food box and stuff like that, or the gun display and everything that you can loot the container. All these are individual blocks, so they're not part of the textures that you can sort of paint on each block and everything, but they're individual block items like a stove or fridge or whatever. And these ones you can have effectively as many as you want, but having the textures themselves, those are limited. And I think that's it is a problem for builders when you don't have enough. But on the other hand, there is a limit there. This was quite a long, it was actually 3 hours, but it was sort of split into two parts. The first hour and a half was really walkthrough of the different POIs and I guess how they are built and some of the zombie falling mechanics and everything. And then it transitioned into about 90 minutes of Q&A that is just really long. A lot of information in there, a lot of questions in there of small things and slightly bigger ones, which is, if you're interested in that, go check out the original stream. It's difficult to cut that down into something that is worthwhile to put in a video like this, but hopefully you enjoy this anyway. And next one will be up with Madmole and Richard, and I think Prime of actual gameplay. And yeah, that should be cool as well to watch. We'll have to catch that in the next video. I'll see you again.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.